What's up YouTube? Welcome to today's video where I'm going to be doing kind of a build diary of sorts where I'm going to go over my character or the upgrades I've been doing and kind of an upgrade progression path of what has happened for my current character. Wow, someone would like to buy my claw for 4 divines. Not a scripted video, by the way. I mean, it just happened. So I'm going to show you. This guy's name is Headhunter. It's kind of funny. Most of the people who buy my stuff, and this is my old claw actually, so kind of good for the build diary to see my old claw, right? So this is a fire cold damage. I did replace my claw, and the main reason is because I wanted a higher cold damage, but fire and cold damage is definitely the best once you go the interrogation, because for the interrogation swap we want as much cold damage as possible in order to maximize our brittle. So I actually ended up buying earlier this morning this FLASK Oriev's End, and I do think that this FLASK is going to be wildly expensive probably, unless people just start farming what's it called, Uber Awakener more. And maybe Uber Awakener is a pretty good profit margin because I bought it for 15 divines, probably a little bit of an overpay, but it is what it is. So right now I'm going to show you one of these maps, and I am doing Shrange right now. So the clear from Explode is absolutely insane. So my mapping strategy is basically doing Delimir. Simulacrums are actually quite expensive currently. I'm not really sure why. So, but I think there are a lot of people farming Simulacrum. But it's around 90 chaos. So let's go put this in real fast, and we can see how it actually looks like. So I'm putting Alva on it, and there is something new with Alva that you can actually get 4 temples, which is actually wild. So let's see, what other one do we want to put in? Maybe some cartography scarab. So scarabs are actually incredibly cheap at the moment. If you want to just put in some, maybe some reliquary to try to juice up that God Touch. I have found only 1 divine so far from a God Touch. So let's go see. I just wanted to show you guys the clear currently with the FLASK on, and the FLASK is pretty amazing. So wow, we actually got so the class greatly amplifies the clear, right? When I was playing Venom Gyre, I realized that sometimes if there's too many mobs, it's actually kind of laggy. But this is what the build looks like with the FLASK on. And it's definitely extremely noticeable. Especially when you get to like in here. Well, let me see if I can do an Alba Temple real fast. But yeah, I favorited Crimson Temple and Shran mainly because they're the connecting maps, and I do think that currently maybe it's bugs, the favorite map system. I don't know if they acknowledged it, but it feels like my favorite map just refuses to drop. And it also helps out a little bit on clear. So you can see right here, the clear is absolutely wild with the FLASK. So the FLASK is pretty much going to be up 24/7 because it is a business class. So you could almost, I would almost say you could probably not even be capped on LA weakness and use this FLASK and be perfectly fine. Now, it's really easy to know this explode on maps like this or like height areas like this, and I have already gotten 300 simulacrum splinters before, but quick little demonstration of how the character currently is and the strategy I'm kind of running. But basically, lots of people always ask me about the item progression. I did start off YouTube doing these build diaries, and it does allow you to understand the build at a more advanced level. I did test out Jung's Ring. Someone let me borrow it out, and it sadly does nothing. You shoot out. So Venom Gyre projectiles already return on the initial fire, but then once you shoot out with Rolling Blades, people were hoping that it would return, but it just does not. It doesn't do anything. I did test out Headhunter, and the results are very disappointing outside of getting Soul Eater. And the removal of Arch Nemesis has destroyed the belt to the point where a few shrines feel better than getting over 30 buffs, and it's just a very sad state of affairs. And I don't really know what to think about it. Headhunter is just not the same as before because Arch Nemesis has been gutted. So every single mod is like a third of the power. And I do think the one reason that rare monsters are so tanky is because every single mod gives you that like flat HP scaling, but that is just not there in terms of the buff. So removing Arch Nemesis has greatly nerfed Headhunter, but it still works in 5 ways. And like I said, the new Explode FLASK is crazy for clear. Should try to get a good roll on this, so it's not medium roll. I think mine currently is 24%. Mini jackpot. Wow, that's a pretty good item. So now what did I actually do? So let me go over my character real fast and each piece of gear. So Vol's Vision, I still have this. I'm trying to maybe get an enchant on it, trying to get Venom Gyre projectile. And I also came to the conclusion that Berserk effect is really good. It's a 6% extra damage reduction, and it's very strong. So if you can't get the Venom Gyre enchant, the Berserk enchant is also super good. Now the claw, I bought this I think for only 5 divines, the base, and it didn't have the crit chance on it, but it has some other weird craft. So I took off the craft, I put on hits can't be evaded. It was a flat lightning damage craft. Now for anyone that doesn't know, hits can't be evaded is better than any damage mod you could get, and even pen, purely because it allows you to drop all of these accuracy nodes. So there's 1, 2, 3 nodes, 4, 5, 6. And a lot of people who like show me their profiles of why they do no damage is because you don't have 100% chance to hit. Now, for this claw, YOLO exalted crit chance, and the cold res is actually pretty important because if we're using Vol's Vision and we're using this item, we have a lot of fire res that's extra, and then we have extra more fire res, and then we have lightning res somewhere on this chest piece. So cold res, we're kind of low. This does allow us to be able to run LE weakness maps if we do want to, and that is extremely useful. So I bought this boner ring, and probably don't buy a boner ring because it does give you extra minion mods. I'm not really sure if that still happens if it's synthesized. But for this boner ring, we gain onslaught for 4 seconds on hit, which actually helps us drop the silver flask. I did end up dropping the silver flask. Now since this ring was kind of low eye level, I settled with this roll, and it's a lot of damage, so kind of good. And I crafted on life. Chest piece, I definitely should replace this, but at this point, it's kind of hard to replace it. It's like I can spam essences on. I kind of need the life regen. I need the physical damage reduction. I also need the lightning res, and I need the life. So I pretty much need every single thing on this chest piece. And it has thorns, unfortunately, but it is what it is. And it has the Gravicious craft, which should probably be recrafted, but I don't have the Gravicious craft right now because this actually goes up to 6%. Now, next up, we have this ring over here. And this ring, I bought this base, I think, for 50 chaos. So if you ever want to craft a ring, just use buy a fractured attribute one or isolate a mod that you want. And then I think it hit 49 life, 46 life. And I was like, whatever, this is good enough for me. If I wanted to do it better, I'd probably maybe... you wouldn't really be able to guarantee that much. You'd be able to guarantee a YOLO Exalt, perhaps, if you use a Veil Chaos Sword, but that does cost 2 divines to fix that up. Now, Comb Spirit is pretty good in general. I could get a higher life roll. Now, we're at the point where you should probably be buying uniques for better unique rolls, and that's something to keep in mind. So this item here does give you the rage regeneration you need. I did switch out of Immortal Flesh, and the reason I switched out of Immortal Flesh is because synthesized belts actually give a lot of damage, especially when you have the percent intelligence. You also get percent dex or percent strength. They all work because it all gets turned into percent omniscience. So we have 51 in on the belt. We rolled life. We had some life regen. And we also have increased stun duration. So what does that leave us? That leaves us with a YOLO Exalt. And I did save this for the video. So I'm going to close my eyes right now. And I'm going to click it. And let's see what we get. Oh, I almost misclicked. Well, that's not very good. I mean, it's only Exalt, right? But that, yikes. I mean, I was looking for armor, but what can you really do? Now, this pair of boots, I haven't really been able to replace this because it has a really good enchant on it. It also has 6% increased action speed. And it also has the armor thing. I could try to go for ailment avoidance, and that is an option that I was thinking about. But we'll see how that goes. So I kind of just made this pair of boots with spammy essences, and I have intelligence, dex, and suppress, which is pretty much what I need. I only have 89% spell suppression, but if I use a quartz blast or bossy, I'm at like 99. And 99 is pretty much the same thing as 100, right? Until you die. But basically, that's pretty much my gear. My flask setup is I'm using a jade flask, diamond flask, and granite flask. And attack speed, crit chance, evasion. I was using this for armor, but without it, I'm at, let's see, 11,000 armor. I think if I had this, I'd be at 16,000. So it's kind of a big difference. Maybe I drop the evasion flask. So the evasion 23% with a 31%. So it's just important to kind of keep in mind what you have for your stats and your flask setup. Now for the tree, I am running a cluster setup. So cluster setup here, Phantom Blades. The main point of these clusters is to get that extra projectile with Phantom Blades, but Phantom Blades is pretty expensive. Now, Fuel to Fight, I think, is very necessary because it allows you to, what's it called, drop the Claw Mastery. So a lot of people ask me, how do you actually get mana? And the answer is you need this Claw Mastery of attack damage, least as lifeless mana, or you can spend 2 points to get it, which is not really the worst thing because you have to spend a point of Claw Master. So if you don't want to use the cluster setup, you don't have Fuel to Fight, I would you take this Clever Thief node. Now, as I said before, you do get a lot of skill points back for dropping the precision. Now, right now, there's a question about whether going up here is worth it. It is really debatable. But you do get like 10 stat here, 20 stat here, 10 stat here. This gives you ailment effect, and this also gives you crit chance of multi. So I don't think the pathing is that bad. Also get a socket here, which could be a thread of hope massive later, which would be a huge benefit. You can get a pen node. You can also get some of this stuff Harrier. So there's a lot of options for fixing this build. Right here, I should probably be putting on a lethal pride. So upgrading a jewel, I don't have a watcher's eye yet. And maybe with the extra levels, we can get another slot. And in order to get another cluster jewel, we would probably have to chop off this whole top section of the tree. Now for the amulet anoint, we are using the Omni, and we are anointing Claws of the Falcon. Claws of the Falcon is very, very high value now because multi is really good for us since our elusive effect is kind of a lot lower. And the accuracy rating also helps you out a lot if you're not running a hits can't be evaded claw already. And we are taking these projectile fork nodes. Theoretically, I would say maybe you could drop it, but I do think the additional fork is too good. It's pretty much like the same thing as Awakened Fork. I am running Awakened Fork now. I have Nightblade support. Awaken added cold damage. Should I evolve this? I don't even know. What if I evolve it and it turns into something bad? We have Awakened Force, 2020 Trinity, and Inspiration. You don't really get anything for it, but you can get Anomalous Inspiration for crit chance or Divergent Inspiration, I think, for minus mana cost, but that's extremely expensive. Am still running a lot of suppressed nodes, 12 plus 5. Yeah, and so I pretty much only have suppress on this piece and this piece. Oh yeah, my shield, I didn't go over it. I have life. T1 life regen suppressed, T1 dex. And I actually really like the shield. Very good craft. I bought the base, I think, for only 10 chaos, but a very useful shield. It is a crimson round shield, though. But that's pretty much it. Next upgrades, if I had to say, are... I don't know if I want to save up for the Headhunter. It's kind of such a disappointing belt. I was thinking maybe a Soul Thirst for mapping if you can get Flash Duration. Because, let's see, get Flash Duration on the belt. And then maybe you can do some Soul Thirst shenanigans. I haven't really played Soul Thirst before, so let me know in the comments below if you think it would work, or you have to be like some Pathfinder or something. Technically, maybe we could take a Pathfinder, or we could also use, what's it called, the Forbidden Jewel. I think getting the Forbidden Jewel maybe for Quartz Infusion or something like that could be very good. So right now we're trying to look for something to steal from other, what's it called, Ascendancies. And I don't really see any Flash Duration anywhere, but yeah, maybe permanent onslaught or onslaught effect could be good as a cheap one. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this character, right? Very well progressed. I do think we're on the brink of doing Ubers. I can probably do Ubers once once I swap the Brass Dome. And I think the main question is, should I use it using Headhunter or Mage Blood? And if you, oh yeah, I am running the interrogation. If you want to run the interrogation, make sure you prioritize cold damage. Cold damage is pretty much your crit chance. So very, very important. Now, I will probably do the Ubers once I get the Brass Dome or Lightning Coil. I don't really see the point of doing the Ubers. They're not really neither that challenging or that profitable. Now, I am farming Deli Mirrors currently, but it is extremely difficult at the end of the map. So a lot of people ask me, can I copy your Atlas? And the real answer is you can try to use my Atlas, but you're not going to be able to do the content I specified in. Now, originally what I farmed was Legions and Essences, but Legions kind of tanked in value. I still have them because I can't really think of anything else better. And that's kind of for another video because I feel like endgame juice farming is kind of dead, but let's see, I found like 5 Legions. It's still like 25 chaos. I think these prices might recover a little bit for Legion because of 5-way people. 5-way people generally have bank and they do buy it in a large amount. Now, Venom Gyre, in my opinion, overall does more damage than last league purely because of the strength of all Venom Gyre. Now, if you ever do bossing, you do know you have damage windows. The same thing if you play like raiding in WoW or something. All your damage is concentrated in this window, kind of like Bloodlust phase in WoW. So you have these damage windows, and Venom Gyre really allows you to pop off, and it has the extra burst damage. So even though the overall DPS might be lower supposedly, it's actually in actuality a lot higher with Venom Gyre. Number one thing is I do think that Venom Gyre is a really good Sanctum build, and I have actually finished off most of my Sanctum stuff. Let's go see my relics. I don't know if you can see it, but have been doing pretty well in the Sanctum. I actually cleared one of them, and it was pretty easy. So don't fret if you think Venom Gyre is bad. You can definitely do it. But thanks for watching, everyone. Let me know down in the comments below how your experience has been going. And I hope you find more divines than me. And see you next time. Bye.